Hi, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight for National NISLA's Office Hours event, Clinical Fellowships and Externships, Put Your Best Foot Forward. National NISLA's Office Hours is a live event series designed to bring students and professionals together to talk about topics that are relevant and important to current students. My name is Rachel O'Brien, and I serve as National NISLA's Vice President for Programming and Speech Language Pathology. I am a current student in Speech Language Pathology at Salus University, and I'd like to introduce our moderator for tonight, my executive council partner, Sal.
Thanks, Rachel. My name is Sal Paporto, and I serve as National NISLA's Vice President for Programming and Audiology. I'm currently an AUD student at Montclair University. I'll be monitoring any questions you ask throughout the night, which can be done through the Q&A box.
Before we get started, we would like to take a few minutes to thank our sponsor, the Speech Pathology Group, for their support of this event. I'd like to invite Ms. Jennifer Lopez from SPG to share a few words.
Thank you so much, Sal and Rachel. Hi, everybody. Natalie Weber and I are super excited to be here as representatives from SPG Therapy and Education. For those of you that don't know, we are very active in NISLA, so you may have already come across us in the past, but we are a multidisciplinary company. We offer positions for OT, PT, speech, behavior intervention services, mental health providers, school psychologists, really just a one-stop shop. So we are a clinician-led organization, and we really believe strongly in giving back to our community, especially students in the field or about to enter our chosen field. So we are excited. Natalie and I are both part of the recruitment team. So we get to interview a lot of potential SLPs and SLPAs. So we're looking forward to chatting and hearing what is on everybody's mind tonight. So please feel free to reach out for any questions about our company and then just in general about the process in the field. So thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Lopez. At National NISLA, we understand that applying and interviewing for clinical fellowships and externships is a rewarding yet long and sometimes very difficult process. Between crafting resumes and cover letters and preparing for interviews, applicants can find themselves feeling very overwhelmed. The current state of the world due to COVID-19 makes that task increasingly difficult for current applicants. Because of this, National NISLA wanted to offer a way for students in the clinical fellowship and externship application process to seek advice from professionals who have firsthand experience. During tonight's office hours, we will hear from CSD-related professionals with experience on the hiring side of the application process. Although we have developed questions for the panelists, this event is meant to be an open discussion, so please ask questions via the Q&A feature. You can also feel free to add comments via the chat. We're fortunate to have a panel of professionals who took time out of their busy schedules to help us all prepare for clinical fellowship and externship applications. And with that, I would like to introduce our panel of professionals. Alexis Redmond, Dr. Christina Coppola, Doanne Ward-Williams, who unfortunately is having a bit of technical difficulties and will hopefully be joining us later in the night, Ms. Jennifer Lopez, Dr. Julie Honaker, and Ms. Natalie Weber. If you could all just take a second to introduce yourselves and your discipline and place of employment. Oh, and Doanne did just make it, so we'll have her introduce herself as well.
All right, so I'll just quickly start. My name is Alexis Redmond. I'm ASHA's Director of Career Management Resources. Though I'm not from the professions, for the last 4 years, I have worked with employers and job seekers who are looking for opportunities through ASHA's job board, the career portal, as well as hosting our virtual career fairs, which SPG is usually an exhibitor at. So I can tell you all about the ins and outs of those employers that are looking for CFs and externs within the ASHA space.
Hi, I'm Dr. Christina Coppola. I'm an audiologist at the American Institute of Balance. I'm not only a clinical audiologist, but also a student supervisor. I'm also a clinical consultant for some of our strategic partners, and I am the university liaison. So I'm the one fielding all of your applications and questions and such, as well as running all of the interviews for our future externs, as well as some of our back of the house staff. So I'm happy to be here and thanks for having me.
Hi, everyone. I am Doanne Ward-Williams. I am a bilingual speech-language pathologist. Spanish is my other language. And I have been in my private practice for 13 years, where my focus is on early intervention in Raleigh, North Carolina. So my role as owner is that I do put out all of my asks for clinical fellows or other employees. I also go through all of the interview process, review resumes myself, and so I look forward to our discussion this evening.
And hi again, I am still Jennifer Lopez. I am an SLP. I have been for, this is my 22nd year of practice. I am a director of school-based services for SPG, which just means I oversee a lot of our district relationships. I also am our university outreach lead, so I get to be in front of a lot of different universities and students. And I am part of the recruitment team, as I mentioned, so I am constantly reviewing resumes and working with folks who are looking for CF positions, as well as people who are just trying to kind of make a change. So I also look forward to our conversation tonight.
Hi, everyone. I'm Julie Honaker. I'm the director of the Vestibular and Balance Disorders program, as well as the program director for our Doctor of Audiology externship at the Cleveland Clinic. I know firsthand kind of the stress and putting together all your application materials, and I hope to be able to ease some of that tonight with our discussion and kind of walk you through some tips as well. So looking forward to it.
Hi, everyone. I am Natalie Weber, and like Jen, I am also a director of school-based services for SPG Therapy and Education. I am a speech therapist by trade, and I have been in the field for, this is my 15th year. So I, like Jen, oversee a region of therapists, and I'm also part of the recruitment team. I also take on CF supervision, and then also work with the intern placements. So I look forward to our conversation tonight.
Thank you all so much for sharing. Before we get started with our first topic, I just want to direct all of your guys' attention down to the bottom of your screen. To the far right-hand side, if you look at that little toolbar that pops up, you'll see Q&A. When a question is asked, it will pop up there. You can feel free to type your questions in there as well. And then Sal will be the one that's kind of fielding them and seeing which ones are the most popular among all of them. So our first topic is going to be researching CFs and externships. So the first question that we have while everyone is getting their ideas going is, how did you personally research your CF or externship? We will start with Dr. Coppola.
So personally, when I think I've always heard about, I did my externship at AIB first of all. We are pretty well known for hiring our externs, and we think of our externship year as a whole year of training in which, you know, we kind of invest into our students with intent to hire. So I have always had my goal set on the American Institute of Balance, mainly because of the research that's come out of there, as well as a lot of the, you know, opportunities that they have provided. But in looking for other vestibular placements when I was applying to different places, mainly I went to Here Careers and used some of the filters, not only for the regional, my regional, you know, wants and needs, but also the field or the subset of field that I was interested in. So I definitely, for audiologists out there, definitely suggest going on to Here Careers and peeking around quite frequently, because deadline dates are constantly changing. They're never the same, of course. So, you know, keep your eyes out much sooner than third year, because it's always good to know who you're gonna think about applying to when the time comes.
Thank you very much. Before we move on to any other questions, does anyone else have anything to add to that one?
I will add a different perspective. For me, I really wanted to have an opportunity to learn more about bilingual speech pathology within a private practice because I knew that I wanted to be at some point own my own private practice. And so I spoke to my graduate school professors about who they may know that were alumni or who they knew as colleagues that would be able to give me that opportunity to work within a private practice focused on bilingualism or multicultural populations because I didn't have that opportunity in my practicums. And so they gave me that list and I took that opportunity to contact those private practices and go out and observe them. So I really wanted to encourage everyone to take that initiative early if there's an interest that you already have.
Thank you so much for that. Sal, do we have any popular questions in the chat?
So one that I'm seeing is what are qualities of a CF opportunity that are important to consider when considering positions?
Ms. Redmond, would you like to take that one?
Could you repeat it real quick? Because I was reading something in the Q&A that caught my attention and I missed half of your question. So,
so what are qualities of a CF opportunity that are important to consider when considering a position?
So the qualities of CF position, I think it's best to also understand that a lot of the employers who are posting opportunities will often nest those positions in the same postings as an SLP position. So honestly, usually when you're searching and looking, even if something doesn't immediately say CF in the title, when you start reading the body, it'll say, we'll also take rising CFs. So when you start thinking about opportunities, it's really about thinking about what you're going to want for your future career set. So if you are looking to, let's say, pursue opportunities in healthcare, making sure that they are serving the populations that you want to be serving the different treatment areas that you want to be treating. And if they aren't, are there opportunities to learn those other aspects? Maybe they do some collaborative work with other clinics and do some things where you can get them extra experience. So it's important to kind of look at it in its holistic fashion of like, hey, what setting is it in? What connections will you really get while you're there? And then are there opportunities to kind of grow your various skill sets? Because while some have a very fixed idea of where they want to be working, others might say, hey, I'm curious about all these different things. And I want to explore this during the CF period, because then once that's over, I might want to try something else. So just kind of keep it open, but read every job posting. They are really, really transparent about, do you have interpersonal skills? Do you have documentation skills? Are you organized? Are you going to be able to be a quick learner? Or can you self-regulate and self-manage and then know how to manage up? So as you're working with your supervisors, being able to communicate your needs, they can support you along your journey. So it's really about kind of going from that, in theory, application that you're doing in school to thinking about how to now be the advocate and champion for yourself as you're asserting yourself as a professional.
Awesome, thank you. One that I see that is being upvoted a lot is, what is the SLP equivalent of? Oh yeah.
That's what caught me. And I was like, what? I was like, huh, repeat the question. The SLP equivalent to Here Careers is the career portal. So just careers.asha.org. Right now we have almost 150 job postings on there. Of those, 80 of them reference CF opportunities. And we don't have as many when it comes to audiology. So Here Careers is the better option for that. But it's also because with externships, a lot of them have to be pre-approved by your university. So it's really best to work with the university, work with Here Careers, because they have them clearly identified. While ASHA, those are live postings by employers, like SPG posts all the time. So you know that they're actual job postings and not like something cloned off of like LinkedIn or Monster, where you can't tell if it's real or not. All our postings are real, like someone's going to answer you.
Perfect, we'll get that posted in the chat for you guys too, so you can use that link. Sal, what else do we have?
Which resources are available specifically to apply for? Oh, see, that is the question that was just answered. That was the next upvoted one. So the next one going down was, I know it depends on the setting, but in general, what would it look like for someone to get, sorry, the questions move a bit in this box, so it's hard to read them when they're a bit longer. What is the specific timing that someone should start looking for a CF or a fourth year externship? I guess that could be both because you would do it different times for your different, if you're SLP versus audiology.
Ms. Weber, do you want to start that one off?
Sure, I can speak to your CF year in terms of the timing. So, I mean, essentially, whenever you're ready to explore your options, when you're in grad school, as you get closer, like if you're a May grad, that, you know, late winter, early spring, as you start to explore your options, that way you can, you know, make those lists for those pros and cons and kind of get an idea of what's out there. If you're a winter grad, then, you know, looking in the fall of what is out there for in terms, and, you know, questions to ask are, you know, if I'm starting mid-year, you know, what do placements look like mid-year? What kind of support? But, you know, it's never too early, at least to have also like an introductory phone call to just kind of get, you know, get yourself thinking and get in the mode of interviewing.
I'll just say from a high level view from ASHA's perspective, we see our peak season for applications between February and May of every year. And so there's kind of a colliding of timelines because you guys are graduating. A lot of employers know to start recruiting then. But also for school settings, a lot of schools do contract renewals in March. So it kind of coincides when everyone's trying to do the recruitment, trying to get their placements for the next year. So that's always a really good time. But if you're looking specifically in healthcare, it's really important to look at the settings that you're looking to apply to, because a lot of major hospital systems have a set period when they're recruiting for CS for the next year. A lot of them are in like October to November. Some will even go as far as into February. So if, you know, hospital setting is what you want, you should start looking at those now because they are in high demand. They have high volumes. They often do not do postings on job boards. So you're not going to find it on like Google Jobs or even on ASHA Careers site. You have to go to that hospital site because they don't have to look for people. People come to them. So just kind of keep it on your radar. If not, you'll miss some opportunities to get in the good placements.
Thank you so much. Is anyone on the audiology side, Dr. Honaker?
I'll chime in. I think good advice is for your externship year, talk to your academic program coordinator, because they're going to be really good at knowing locally where externship sites are for posting. One thing that happened this year, which I think is exciting in audiology, just because there's so many like weird timings for when do you apply. You know, I've had some places contact me in May of their third year or even of their second year, like when can we start applying? And it's like, whoa, we're not quite ready yet. But a group of kind of academics as well as clinical directors came together and formed an audiology clinical education network. And it was really great because this was a trial year where they set guidelines for specific deadlines for the application process, when those sites within the network would actually review applications and then start the interviews, and then the process for letting individuals know that they've been accepted into an internship, and then timeline for them to get back to us. So it was really great because things started in September when applications were due and gave us a month then for interviews. And then we closed our interviews by October 15th. So then by the 20th of October, we were able to inform our externs whether or not they were placed, and they had 5 days to make a decision. And if they didn't match with us, they had an opportunity then to start looking again for other openings. And often VA sites, other clinical sites won't start until January, depending on funding. So there's kind of a second wave that they'd have an opportunity to get. So lots of things happening. I'm happy to put the website for this network in the chat. Just something, because I know looking next year, they're even thinking of doing this again.
Thank you so much. I know another popular one is a lot of students are curious. Say you're super interested in the medical route, and unfortunately in your grad program, you really didn't have those experiences. How is that going to affect you when applying to a medical CF position? Let's see.
I just want to like also addend that, like that could also apply for like any field. Like if you didn't, let's say you wanted to go into vestibular, if you wanted to go into working in schools and you didn't get those specific, like it could be any kind of, what if you didn't get an experience in a certain in a certain area that you want to go into for your CF or your fourth year?
Yeah. Ms. Ward-Williams, would you like to start that one?
Sure, I'll start that one. That was one thing that I was talking about in my last response. I really didn't get the opportunity that I wanted. So I was very open with the companies that I was interviewing with to let them know I did not have an experience in a private practice, but here are my strengths and here are the things that I've excelled at, but I would like an opportunity to learn more from you. And so I tried to address it that way. And as a private practice owner, I would like to see someone tell me that, because I understand that you're limited in your opportunities within your graduate program. And so seeing someone want to learn more and want to have an opportunity would impress me, and I would be open to that. And I have done that in the past, so.
Thank you very much. Is anyone else? Yep.
Yeah, I was just going to say another opportunity there, because in working with job seekers who are in those experiences, try to get as many observations as you can. Start kind of building your network of kind of mentors and those kind of sponsor you experiences, because a lot of times if you are shooting for those big hospitals, those slots fill up quick. There's just not enough. Honestly, there's not enough of them. So another opportunity is potentially pursuing things that are adjacent. Maybe it's, a skilled nursing facility, or you do home health for a bit. Or if while you're doing something else, like once you finish your CF, particularly doing some PRN placements in that setting, so you can build that up, particularly if that's your dedicated path. Definitely be open to figuring out kind of that plan A, B, and C of how to get the experience so that you can have it in the long run. Because sometimes the CF, it's just about getting your hours so you get your certification. The career is a very long one, so you have a long time to get all those experiences and opportunities. So build your network of support, start connecting with people, join a SIG. Like, you can start getting that education and making those proper connections so that that can be, your end goal in the long run.
Thank you so much. I saw one more and it was asking, so say you're super interested in a certain company, a certain hospital, a certain school, and there's no job posting up for them. Is it okay to reach out to them and express interest, or should you dial it up? Okay, everyone's giving the unanimous head nod. Okay, does anyone have anything else to add to that one, or how you would feel if a student did that with you? Anyone can jump in.
I mean, I'll definitely jump in. I think that you are your own best advocate. So I think that, you have so much to offer. So a company is going to be super impressed by your initiative. That's something that we look for as far as characteristics go in some of our CF candidates, is that that ability to take that initiative and to be your own best advocate. All they can say is, no, there's no current positions, but you can also ask if you can stay in touch. Maybe you can get on a listing for future professional development topics or other community events that they might be involved in. So it's, again, like I think so many people have said, and I'll just echo it, you want to continue to make those connections. That's your best bet to eventually get that position that you're really looking for. And you'll be surprised at some of the things that pop up that may just be something you didn't imagine for yourself and turn out to be great. And that's one of the most beautiful things about our field, is that you can do so many different things. So just take it all in and experience it, because they're like Ms. Redmond said, it's a long career. So enjoy it for sure.
Thank you so much. Sal, what else do we have going on?
So one question that I'm seeing that was pretty popular is, what is the best way, or is it the best way to go about receiving your graduate degree in one state and deciding to do your CFY or your fourth year externship in another state?
Dr. Coppola, do you want to start that one?
I'll pass on this one if anyone else has a better perspective. I happen to go to the same school that my job now is in, like, basically the same city as my school. So I feel like somebody else is better spoken on this.
Sure, I can jump on this one for a minute. So ASHA has a lot of resources when it comes to state licensure and what's required for the different states and different settings. So as you're starting to like look up your information for certification, it'll talk about like the pathway and what you need to do. And so if let's say you're going to school in New York and you're deciding to do your CF in Kentucky, if you go to ASHA's state resources, it'll tell you what you need to do if it requires a provisional license or if you need to have any type of special supervision. So it's all broken down state by state. It even includes some special resources based on what's happening with COVID. So you can see what the COVID exceptions to all those things are. So always just go to ASHA.org. You can just do state licensure and it'll pull up every state. So if you're going from one to another, that will also kind of help you make that transition.
Thank you so much. Does anyone else have anything to add to that one?
I would just add that definitely do your research because different states have different timelines. California is a state that is working at like an 8 to 10 week processing time. So different times of year are going to be different, but just always make sure. And that website, that ASHA link is fantastic. We direct people there all the time because you can look at all of the different states. It can take you directly to their boards or their licensing departments. But I would just say, make sure that you're doing your research or ahead of time. That's why I say, I think people said already, it's never too early to just start the process of looking around and getting familiar with what it entails to apply for that license in another state or where you might want to live. It doesn't hurt to kind of just dig around a little.
Thank you so much. And we'll do one more question with this topic. And then again, at the end, we are going to come back to a general Q&A session. So if you have any questions about this that were answered, there will be time at the end. Sal, what is our last one?
So one person is asking that it's becoming a popular question. Are there any red flags that we should look out for? I've heard of some company contracts that don't allow for us to practice within a certain distance from the practice after we leave because they don't want us taking their clients. I'm not sure what this is called. Are there any other red flags like this to look out for?
Ms. Ward-Williams, you're shaking your head.
I would absolutely say that is very important to take a look at your contract. And even if you have the opportunity or the connections to be able to have either someone in the legal field or even going to your school to see if at your career center that could be offered where someone could take a look at it or even direct you to take a look at your contract. That is a notion, that is a practice that occurs especially within private practices in my experience. And so I would say that it is okay to ask questions and to find out exactly what that means and even try to negotiate that, because at one point I've seen a contract where a person could not work within 100 miles. And if you are with your family and you're settled and that is where you live, how can you work over 101 miles away from your home? So I think it's very important to take a look at contracts, and even not just contracts. When you think about red flags, whenever you're interviewing, yes, you are interviewing, but also you should bring questions and become interactive within interviews, because you want to ensure that you are going to work for it within a practice or within a setting that is the best fit for you and your desired lifestyle as well. So thinking about the hours that you would work, the flexibility, the location, and what your family lifestyle looks like as well. So I would say if you do not feel like you are, I guess, meshing or you can interact well or have a comfort level with the person that's going to be your supervisor, that may be a red flag in itself.
I would also add another red flag can be if you ask about supervision. So asking to, what is your supervisor's availability? Are they in the same state as you are? What does that look like? Asking to speak with a potential supervisor. All of those kinds of questions I advise people to talk with. I just was working with someone who was leaving a position because it was 3 months in and she had never met her CF supervisor. And during the interview, she said they really couldn't ever tell me who it would be. And I probably should have picked up on that was a red flag. So go with your gut instinct, ask those questions, because supervision is so important for everybody during that first year or during your externships. So definitely don't be afraid to ask those questions and to get specific details.
Thank you so much. Oh, yep, please.
I'm sorry, can I add to that? She sparked my one thing really quickly. Whenever you ask the name of who your supervisor is going to be, it is okay to go on ASHA's website and type in that name to ensure that an ASHA number pops up if you are trying to get your Cs, because that is your way to confirm that that person has their Cs. Do not take anyone's word. Get their name, put them into ASHA's website.
Thank you all so much. We're going to move on to our next topic, which I know is a super popular one, about crafting your resume and your CV, how to make it stand out and all of those types of things. So the first question we have is going to be a pretty general one. When you are looking at applications, what is one thing that really like stands out or that you've seen stand out on someone's application? Ms. Lopez, do you want to start that one off?
Sure. Gosh, there's so many things. I guess just the experiences, I see a lot of people putting a lot of information, some people I've seen more recently putting GPAs and things like that. But one thing that I'm really always looking for is the details of different experiences. I think sometimes we sell ourselves short, and just because it's new to the field, you don't feel that you've had as much field work experience, but you do, you have, even if you only had one fluency client in your university clinic, give some details about that, and really, share that. And it's all about your confidence, right? So share that, and we look for that excitement. So for me, I look a lot for all of the different disorders or the different settings that you've had experience in, the different types of clinics. Some have a TBI clinic and a fluency clinic and all these different things. So I always look for that well-rounded person through experience.
Thank you so much. Does anyone else have anything to add to that one? Yep.
I do. So for me, while I think the experiences are really, really important, sometimes they can be limited to your geographic location of your school. So for me, I really, really like the letter of intent or the cover letter. I look out for cover letters of a student who has clearly gone onto the website, knows exactly what the practice offers, and is interested in those realms of their fourth year externship or their CF. So basically, is it a well-rounded experience? A lot of students will always put on, I'm looking for a well-rounded experience. Well, that might be great for a lot of applications that you send out, but it's not tailored to the American Institute of Balance, because we are a specialty practice. We do focus on, one thing. So also, does the site that you're applying to offer research? If it doesn't, you might not want to include that you're really interested in research. So things like that, just tailoring your letter of intent to the actual practice and changing that practice to practice on, the different applications that you're sending out.
Thank you so much. Does anyone else have anything to add to that one?
I was just going to add that that's a perfect point. Like on the career portal, we suggest that you need to treat your cover letter and resume like they're a part of your story, because it's really a conversation piece. And so in having a conversation, you're not going to ever just go to someone and just like brain dump everything on them. So you want to curate what you're talking about to make it match what what the job posting is about, what that company's about. Jennifer didn't say it, but I'm going to ask her on the spot now. How much time do you spend reviewing a resume?
Did you remember this from last year?
Always.
I wanted to say first is that I feel like cover letters are like a dying thing, for at least in the speech world. We're seeing fewer and fewer of them. And I think that has to do with things are becoming more automated. You're uploading things from your phones, you're applying through portals that way. So if I get a cover letter, I get really excited, but I don't know when the last time I saw one was. But I do typically have anywhere between 30 seconds to 2 minutes max to look at a resume. And so I look for highlights, just like we all would do if you had limited time. Sometimes I've got 3 interviews back to back, and I'm looking for things to make sure that I'm asking about and that it's setting that person apart. So I do think that really not giving, 5 pages, but again, making sure that you're getting your point across. I love the way you just explained it about being that extension of your story. Is so important, because there are sometimes I pick up and I feel like I really know that person. And then there's other times where I'm like, I can't even tell if this person, other than their graduation date on there, I'm like, I can't really tell what this person's looking for, where they are, and so I do think having another set of eyes on it is always good as well, so that it does come across as a really quick snapshot of who you are as that professional.
Yeah, absolutely. And so because of that, because she mentioned she's spending 30 seconds on this resume while you might take hours or weeks crafting it and refining it, and you might list everything you've ever done on there. The best way to get the most out of your resume is take that responsibilities piece of the job posting and look at what order they put the bullets, and then match your resume to that same order, because luckily Jennifer is from the professions, but there are some employers and recruiters that are not from this profession. And so they're literally looking at that job description and saying, hey, does this person match what I was told I needed? So you don't want to make them search, because they have to search. They're going to put you in like the done pile, and you're never going to get to see the light of day. So instead, make it so that it's just idiot proof, that there's like, yep, you're perfect. You're staying in my hand. I'm going to make sure that we talk to you. So just think about it that way, because for one, it's going to make it a simpler process for you, but it's also going to make you stand out. And as you said, cover letters, people want to hear from you.
Yeah, I'll just chime in and say that, again, we get a number of applicants. It's hard to sift through everything in your resume. I think for having us, our eyes are wanting to understand your competencies, your experiences. But when you're putting together a cover letter, which we love, again, have that tell your story. Don't have it just regurgitate everything from your resume, because that's there. We can look at that. Let this be an opportunity for us to understand, and you to sell yourself to us of why you're the ideal candidate, and also why our externship or the CF you're looking for is the ideal for you, and give us examples. And we like, when we're reading these cover letters, to see if there's any insight for long-term goals and planning. That just helps us to better understand if this is really a good fit both ways. Are we going to be able to help propel your future goals? And are you a good fit for us in the short term?
Thank you all so much for sharing. Sal, what are some of the other popular questions?
So one question that I'm seeing is, what are some bad habits to avoid when building a resume or cover letter?
I'll just chime in. Watch your spelling and grammar. That's a big thing, because if we only have a few seconds and we're noticing a lot of errors, it's not going to bode well.
Thank you. Does anyone else have anything to add to that one?
Not every internet example is a good one. With Canva and lots of templates online, a lot of those templates are for like graphic designers or photographers or actors. You actually sometimes don't want to put your picture on your resume, because it can create age discrimination, gender discrimination, lots of different things that you don't want to add to the picture. It's really about your competencies. So just focus on that. You don't have to feel intimidated if you can't do a perfectly designed one like on Canva where it has a nice swoosh and some type of color overlay. Word is fine. Just keep it nice, neat. Make sure the font is big enough, because they're looking at a lot of them, so their eyes are tired. Use simple spacing. Just make it engaging. You don't have to make it fancy.
Does anyone else have anything for this one before we move on? Okay, what else do we have?
So another question is, how should my resume for graduate school applications differ from my resume when applying for a 4th-year externship or a CF?
Ms. Weber, do you want to start that one off?
I'm going to pass on this one just because I don't remember my grad school application.
You pick that one up.
I can possibly pull another question. These questions come in very quickly, sorry. What are some items that an applicant should and should not include in a resume or cover letter?
Ms. Weber?
I have never received a cover letter. So again, I would not be a good candidate for this question.
Start that one.
I will say, in the few times I've gotten a cover letter, some, you know, have taken the time to use that cover letter to explain like why there was a chunk of you know, a time off, why there's something that had happened in their life, whether that be caring for a loved one, something like that, you know, so I did appreciate that. And I think somebody already said this, but making sure you really go back and edit that, because I've gotten some that have my name, but then talk about the medical position that they're applying for and have a hospital's name that I know they just cut and pasted. It's not at all what they're applying for with me. So just making sure that you are tailoring that individually. And I love the idea of researching that company online so that you can comment on maybe their company values or their professional development that you saw on there. So I think those are all things to make sure that you're including. And then the same goes for resumes. I've gotten some that has like the objective and they didn't change the objective. And once they were looking for example, one of your internships or externships, but then you're actually looking for a CF year. So just making sure that you're proofreading things, I think would be my biggest suggestion for some of that, of what not to do.
Thank you. So, yeah.
I was just going to say, I'm going to go back to the question before about tailoring your resume for grad school versus a CF or externship. I would say it's really the audience. So you can use that resume as kind of your outline. But when you're applying for grad schools, you probably were highlighting all the things from your undergraduate program, your leadership experiences, maybe clubs or your sorority, maybe you were a vice president or something, or fraternity, you know, those type of things to show your potential to be a good candidate for grad school. But really for your CF or your externship, this is kind of your pre-professional year, jumping off into your career. So you want to make sure that you're highlighting those aspects of your graduate program that would really set you apart and make you a good candidate for the particular position.
Thank you so much. Before we move on to our next section, we'll do one more question. I saw a popular one was, is it okay to include things from undergrad on your grad school resume? Like, should you include the clubs you were in undergrad? And if you did NISLA and stuff like that, or should you kind of take that away as you begin to apply for your CF and externships? Ms. Redmond, do you want to start that one?
Sure. So again, because you're trying to curate these experiences based on the position and who you're interviewing with, when you're starting to do your research in the company, when you're starting to figure out your cover letter and stuff, don't limit yourself to just the job posting and then like the about us section of the position. Also look at some of the people that work there. And if there's people that you know that like, oh, you know, I know that people that work for this organization are focused on self, you know, development and that they are always learning and growing, you know, then you can include maybe some things that you've done where it's either going to like, you know, state association stuff, if you've done posters, if you've done maybe special webinars. Don't include everything that you've taken because then it's just stuff. But when it's stuff that enhances or kind of calls back to what's in that job posting, it feels like, oh, you're the perfect fit because, you know, we're looking at you here and you match everything that we have here. So, you know, when you're including clubs and things like that, you know, think about that. So I know particularly for those that are in audiology, maybe you know that the person used to be an advisor for an SAA group. So maybe you might not use NISLA because you're trying to, you know, show that connection. So it's, again, being really strategic about like, hey, I have a story, but I'm gonna curate that story so that they can kind of see the parts that stand out and not just give them everything. Because again, they're taking 30 seconds. So if you kind of washed away the important parts, you know, you've missed an opportunity. So just kind of pick the things that matter that'll make you shiny, not confusing.
Thank you so much. We're going to move on to our next topic, which is how to stand out during interviews. So the first question we're going to have is, within the first 5 minutes of meeting someone who is interviewing for CF or externship position, whether it's in person or virtual, what is one thing that you look for right off the bat meeting someone that really helps them to stand out? Let's see. Ms. Ward-Williams, do you want to start with that one?
Sure, I can start with that. So one thing that I like in the first 5 minutes is if I can see that they've done research and they know about the company that they're applying for, because that shows your interest and their excitement in where they are for coming for an interview. So I really like seeing that background.
Does anyone else want to jump in with that one?
I can. So the first thing that I look for or notice in applicants that I'm interviewing is, number one, I walk them around the entire office and I introduce them to every single person there, and I see how they react to speaking with people, to meeting people, and also I gauge their excitement throughout the day. So when we have our interviews, we do actually have them kind of shadow within clinic during that time period. So if they come out of a appointment and they have no questions, or they're, yeah, that was cool, that's a negative, that's an orange flag for me. So really just being excited, coming up with questions, almost being inspired while you're there by the people that you're talking to is the most important thing for me. And then also just personality wise, are you able to mesh with everyone and just put on that best foot forward?
Thank you so much. Does anyone else have anything for this one?
I would just add, a lot of us have been forced to do remote interviews. And so, I completely understand sometimes people have been in their car because they're on their lunch break during their internship or whatever it is. But I do also think, just to remind people, that it is a professional interview. It's always interesting to me if I see someone that looks like they just got out of bed. They may join late and they've got, again, maybe pajamas it could be, but again, I think just always putting your best foot forward, no matter what the setting is. I mean, it is hard because we all are in our homes right now in a lot of situations. And we've tried to go back to the office, then had to come back home. So I do understand it, but I also just think, keep in mind, this is a professional interview, no matter where you're doing it from.
Thank you so much. Sal, do we have any? Oh, yeah, Dr. Coppola.
I was just itching my face. Sorry.
Sal, do we have any questions in the chat?
So one question is actually, the next question actually was, how can a virtual interview be handled as opposed to an in-person one? Or better stated, how is the best way to prepare or present yourself during a virtual interview when you are not going to be in person?
Has anyone done any virtual interviews lately that would like to start off with this one?
I would say that Jen and I actually, that's all we do is virtual interviews at this point in time, because we are located in California. So right now, practice so that you know how to navigate the platform that you're using. Set up a practice go-to with, a significant other or a friend, so that you can, figure out your background or whatnot, know your audience, mirrors reflect things, if you don't want anything shown, make sure you have all angles taken care of. And also, having troubleshoot pieces available as well. So, headphones available, or, if that goes out, and having your phone nearby if you need to connect via phone because, your internet connection is not getting through very well. So just taking the time to do a little bit of prep work ahead of time works out great. Because most of the time it goes well, but other times tech gets in the way, and I've had people where they can't log on and they can't figure it out, and it just becomes kind of a mess. So.
Thank you. Does anyone else have anything to add to that one?
I think the only thing to add when it comes to virtual interviewing that can sometimes be an advantage over in person is you can keep your notes like on the screen or on your desk, and like they're not going to know or care. You know, when you are preparing for your interview, write down just 3 questions that you're going to want to ask them, because they're going to get to the end of the interview and say, do you have any questions for us? And no one ever thinks about that on your first job. You're like, oh, and I'm supposed to ask you something now? Just go on their website, find a couple questions that you can ask about, like, hey, I saw that you have this type of training program. You know, would I have access to that as a CF? Or, you know, if I'm interested in this and that, would the organization, you know, support me? Or, you know, how does the organization measure success? Like, you can have just some boilerplate questions that you can keep on your notes, so that at the end you look something like a polished and on top of it professional, and not like you've never been here and you're just kind of like, oh, I don't have anything, and you just get off the get off the meeting. If you want it to feel like a conversation that they don't want to end. Instead, they have to because they have another appointment, not because they actually don't want to stop talking to you.
Thank you so much. Sal, what are some of our other questions that we have popping up?
What are some good examples of good questions that I should ask during an interview?
Ms. Weber,
I really get excited when students ask, you know, what's your perfect or ideal candidate for this position? I like that question. It's exciting.
I'm gonna like keep that like in the back of my head for when I'm doing interviews. So thank you.
Does anyone else have anything to add to that one?
If you ever want to pull a power move, you can always ask, you know, based on our conversation and my resume and cover letter, is there anything else that I could answer for you that would quell any concerns about my experience? Because it's going to allow them to say, oh, well, you know, you did mention this and I would like to hear more about. So it's going to let you kind of have that last minute flex of like, okay, if I can, you know, fix anything so I can make me stand out, you have that moment to fix something, because they're going to tell you, oh, well, you know, I was curious about this.
I would just second that. I had somebody recently say to me, based on my resume, what are some of the things like that that stand out to you about, you know, that you're looking for in a position or something. And what I really loved about that was it did make me get on my toes a little. And I have only sometimes 30 seconds. So I really, luckily that one, I spent a little bit more time, but I do like to get out of that like mundane of just like me throwing all the questions. I personally like just when somebody has any questions, it's not a red flag. Somebody just used orange flag and I liked that. It's just sometimes a little bit like, when I say throughout an interview, do you have any questions for me? Do you have any questions about supervision? Are you worried, you know, or is there anything you have questions about with professional development? And it's just constantly no, no, no. And it speaks to more, I tend to think it speaks more to not being prepared versus not really having any questions. We all get nervous and that's okay. But like Ms. Redmond said, having those notes, I don't even mind them in person, but having those notes is so important. I mean, I have to refer to notes, so it's not atypical that you would have to refer to notes when you're in a job interview.
I would even go further than that and say you should take notes during a job interview. If something comes up during the interview and you're like, oh, I want to ask that later, pocket that, write it down, and just ask it later.
Thank you all so much. I'm definitely taking notes for a year down the road. Going back to interviews that you guys have conducted, can you think of like one interview where someone did something at some point during the interview and mentally in that second you're like, no, this person, like they made this mistake, they said this, they did this, it is an automatic no, like you can leave? I see a few people laughing, so if anyone wants to jump in with that one, just like some big no-nos right off the bat, like do not do.
I would say do not talk negatively about any, like a professor or someone else you interviewed with, or one of your practicum. I mean, you can talk about your experiences without making it negative, but if you are just completely bad-mouthing someone, that's just a no-no for me, because then I probably will be next on your list.
Does anyone else have anything for that one?
I would say just having answers prepared. I had an interview not that long ago where the person's responses to all my questions were just like, I don't know. I haven't had that experience, or I haven't had that experience. I mean, there's another way to phrase that. We're very well aware that you're beginning your career, but there are other ways that you might say, well, I haven't had that exact experience, but what I did observe with one of my supervisors is X, Y, or Z, and have some kind of, stories or experiences prepared to shed light. We know we're not expecting you to have every answer. I would be more concerned if you did, but I do think that having some, anecdotes ready to share about how you might handle that situation gives us a lot of input. For this individual, I had to honestly ask for additional references. I ended up calling and speaking to the references directly because I just really could not get a feel for this person, because the first set of references was just glowing, but I could not get anything out of the applicant. And so I just think, having some things prepared will only benefit you.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have anything else to add to that one? No. Okay, Sal, what are some of our other questions?
So we are actually, it looks like there aren't any more interview related questions from the audience. So I think now we might move on to general Q&A questions. So
perfect. Okay,
so Rachel, I'll turn to you. Sorry.
It could have been a topic we already covered. If it didn't get answered, just anything that you want to know. A lot of people are asking the same questions, so definitely look in that Q&A box and upvote any questions that you might want asked. And we can get started. Are there any popular ones?
So one topic we didn't touch on, how much do praxis scores influence your likelihood of getting your CF, or on the time, where they fall on the timeline of doing your fourth year externship? How much would they influence that timeline or the likelihood of getting it?
Does anyone want to jump in on that one?
I would say that for me anyway, depending on my need for what the need is for the job, and if the person was a strong interviewer and they just didn't have their praxis scores or whatever it is, it's not going to hold me back from moving forward with that person. I think I saw that in the chat as well. Do I have to wait until I have praxis scores to apply? I personally don't think you have to. I know Natalie recently had a candidate that had some difficulty with passing the praxis. It took a couple of times throughout that CF year. That's perfectly okay. So I personally don't wait for that. And I don't think we as a company wait for that piece. I think we give a little bit more weight to how you interviewed, what your experiences are, your level of excitement, and just your overall face that you've put forward.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have anything else for that one?
I would just agree with her. For me, at least, we don't even mind if our residents take the praxis during their fourth year prior to graduation. So, I have current residents that are planning on taking it soon. So it doesn't affect our decision at all. However, I would suggest that you take it as early as possible, especially, you really want to spend your whole fourth year focusing on doing the position, the CF or the externship that you're planning on doing. I would dedicate all of your energy to that and not studying for a praxis. So for me, my goal was to have the praxis done prior to all of the application deadlines, so that during that time period, which is also a pretty stressful period, sending out everything you need for applications, that's a really good time to have nothing on your plate as well.
Thank you so much. Does anyone else have anything for that one? Okay, Sal, what is our next question?
What is the best way to go about getting answers or reliable information regarding salaries during an externship or fellowship year interview?
Dr. Honaker, do you want to start that one?
Sometimes it'll be posted on the websites for, like, if you're applying to a medical center, sometimes they'll post that a stipend's included. I would say you could bring that up at the time of the kind of the negotiating. That's probably the first time that you want to bring this up. So if they're considering offering you, you want to then have details of the salary or the stipend that would be given. And then just to speak to the externship, oftentimes it might be a small stipend depending on the site. I don't know, maybe others can chime in more with the respect to the CF. That's more negotiating a salary.
Thank you so much. Does anyone else have anything that wants to jump in?
I will. So I would say especially if you're applying to a private practice, really ask about salary versus per hour and find out, what does that look like? And if they say per hour, what does that cover? Does that mean that it's only covering my per hour per visit? So then you have to think about that means that you're not getting paid for whenever you are doing your reports, and find out about travel stipend. Ask about if you need to purchase assessments, or will those assessments be supplied for you? If you have to purchase your own therapy materials, or will those be supplied? So those are very important questions to ask whenever it's a private practice, which really differs from some other settings, because when you look at salary, if you're especially working in early intervention, kids will absolutely have to cancel, no-shows, and then if you're in a per hour situation, you're not getting paid, especially if the flu is going around. I mean, currently with COVID, even weather issues. So that is something you really should ask about. And I would say, as a private practice owner, I would ask that question pretty early, because you will know if this is a company that is a good fit for you when it comes to all of those things. Because in a CF, you're really continuing to learn, and it may be difficult to learn depending on how many kids you have on your caseload, because you're trying to make a certain amount. And then also asking about the travel is important. How far away will you need to travel? Are you traveling 30 minutes from where you live, or are you traveling an hour from where you live? And are you getting reimbursed for that? All of that is very important. And it is okay to ask those questions. You should ask those questions. If it is not, if they don't tell you, you need to know that to make a decision.
Thank you so much. Does anyone else have any? Oh, yep.
Yeah, I was just going to add that, I think that's important too, if you're looking at school-based services, because a lot of school districts have salaries listed, and sometimes pay can seem really high, but then you find out that they don't offer benefits. So I think that total compensation, whatever setting that you're in, that you do make sure that you're asking about. Do they have a reimbursement for ASHA dues? Do they offer continuing education, or do they supply you a budget for that professional development? There's a lot of things beyond salary, which again, we all have to make a living and pay rent and all of that. So that's super important. And I saw a few questions about, like, as a CF, can you negotiate? Absolutely. All they can do is say no. That goes back to you being your own best advocate. There are some situations where, like a school district, you enter at a certain step and that's your answer, but there's other things that you can ask about. And I do think that even with looking at skilled nursing facilities, things like that, where your hours fluctuate based on patient loads. So ask those questions. Don't be blinded if somebody's offering you a ton of money, and it might be amazing, but also ask those questions, because what are you kind of signing up for? You just never know. So that's part of that reading the contract, asking all those questions before you look at a contract, so that you have all of that. And don't be afraid to say that you want something written into an offer letter, or if they don't have a contract, some sort of formal offer letter. Don't be afraid to request those types of things.
Thank you so much. Does anyone else? Oh, yep.
I was just going to add, yes, all of that, make sure it's written in the offer letter, make sure it's written in the contract. make sure you're reviewing all those things. But ASHA does have some salary survey data. We usually survey every setting every other year. So like last year we did healthcare, this year we'll do schools, and they've had that for decades. You can see it historically, like how salaries has moved and gone up and down. That's going to be really important as you're kind of looking at the snapshot of what's reasonable for, what your work setting or what state you're in. So make sure you kind of know that, because sometimes it can be kind of hard to figure out like, well, what should I ask for? What would be reasonable? Know kind of what's normal for your area. And then the thing is that you never have to, sometimes some employers might ask you like, oh, what are you making now? Or what are your salary expectations? You can always rebut that and say, I would like whatever is equitable for the range for this position. So what range is being offered for this position? And make them tell you kind of like, what window are we talking about? And you can ask, is that negotiable? What factors would bring someone to the higher end of that range? And then you can start to speak to, well, I have all those experiences that would make me a candidate more at the higher end versus the lower end of your range. So always, like, if you can play dumb, but what range is it? And how do you guys determine that? And how does it all factor in? Ask those questions, because again, it's engaging. You don't have to in that part, just kind of accept whatever said. You can always probe for more, because if anything, it shows that you're actually interested in working there. So use ASHA's resources. Yes, get it in the offer letter, and just keep asking questions, because this is when it comes to salary, your best chance of getting more salary is when they give you the first offer. After that, you're usually just getting either merit increases, or maybe it's like spot bonuses for things, but you're never going to make the same leaps that you would as you are when you first get that offer. So this is your time if you're going to try to play for more money.
Thank you so much. I feel like that's good to know, because I feel like money, especially in a position like this, is such a not talked about thing. And I know like I would be scared to ask them, like, well, what are they going to think of me if I say this? Are they going to like totally nix me and not even offer me a position anymore if I bring up money? So it's definitely good to hear that it's an okay thing to talk about. Sal, do we have any more popular ones?
Rachel, I was just going to add, is recently I had someone say to me, this always feels really awkward, but I just really want to talk to you about, and she wanted to talk about salary. And honestly, that's a great way of approaching it, right? It was like, it took the pressure off of me to have to answer those questions. It took the pressure off of her, and it's on everybody's mind. I mean, you're applying for a job. You're not trying to be in a volunteer position. And so it is something that we have to just get comfortable with. I think that we sometimes, like I said, we shy away from some of those difficult conversations, and we need to be, you're the one that they want. So you need to be able to speak up and bring those things to someone's attention, and to say, this is what I feel I bring to the table. And so don't be afraid of that. Practice, practice, practice. And I hope everyone is really paying attention to all the links that Alexis is putting in the chat, because all of those ASHA different pieces and articles and things are so helpful. So definitely use those. We use them all the time. We send them out all the time. So make sure you're paying attention to that too.
Thank you very much. Sal, do we have any other popular questions?
A few people are asking, what is an appropriate number of placements to apply for fourth year externships or clinical fellowship year positions?
Dr. Honaker, do you want to start that one off? Feel free to pass.
I know that's tough. I think it depends on the setting that you're wanting to apply to. So if you're really wanting major medical center and there's only a few spots, you might want to have a few things lined up just in case you're not selected for that. So I think it just depends on the location, depends on the setting, and don't be afraid to kind of branch out and look at other areas as far as kind of geographic and other opportunities as well. I'll let others chime in.
I would also just add to that, especially if you're going into a specialty part of what you're doing, say it's pediatrics or, whatever specialty realm you're going into, definitely widen your geographic, net, because the likelihood of you getting one of those specialty positions in exactly the place that you want to be isn't, I don't want to say it's not likely, but you don't want to be stuck at the end of the application period without a placement.
I would also add, it's okay to shop around. You should. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you should apply to a lot of different places, but keep in contact with those companies or those agencies or those places that you are applying to. Let them know what your timeline is for a decision. I know that if I interview somebody the first week of January and I don't hear back from them for like 2 weeks, I know they're shopping around. I'm okay with that. Of course you should, but I just so appreciate somebody saying, I am trying to start this early. I'm really hoping that I'm going to make a decision by February 1st or whatever it might be. I've had people give me all kinds of dates, 2 weeks, 3 months. And honestly, I love that because then I can set a reminder in my calendar to follow up. I don't have to bother you every 2 weeks or every week being like, please don't ghost me. But you know, I think that just, it's okay to shop around. I don't think that there's a limit on how many places you should interview or you should talk to. But just be very upfront and clear. It's a small community and it's also, it speaks to your level of professionalism. So always just make sure you're really clear with the people that you're interviewing with.
Okay, so shameless plug, because you teed up saying that you can talk to as many people as you want. So because of this, because of, you know, the pandemic and people not being able to get out and network, ASHA does offer virtual career fairs. Last year we did 2, this year we're doing 4. So there's gonna be 2 different opportunities to do it in April. So April 6th and April 9th. So for those that have classes on Wednesday nights, we're also having it on a Saturday from 12 to 3. And we have up to 40 companies there. So you can meet people who are from across the country who are hiring for CFs, that you can literally just go and have that informational conversation and not be kind of vested to like doing the follow-up that Jen was just talking about, where it's like, hey, you know, can you give us a yes or no? You could go and just chat and it could turn into something or it could turn into nothing. But the whole purpose is for you to have that opportunity to just network and maneuver and kind of hear what's happening. And sometimes that can be where you can do that comparison shop on benefits, comparison shopping on salary, or get that comparison shopping on terms of like the support that they're offering their staff. So, you know, things like this, like I know a lot of the state associations also offer things like this. I know some of the NISLA chapters get together and do different things where they're networking with employers. Use those opportunities to kind of get all the information that you need to make that decision if you want to apply and take the effort. Because again, we're asking you to please tailor your resumes and cover letters. So you don't want to send it to 20 people untailored, but if you have those early conversations, you know exactly what to say to get them to say yes to you. So use those.
Thank you so much. Do we have any other questions popping up in the chat?
I am looking for some. Let's see. A lot of the questions were addressed with previous answers, which is why I'm looking through them.
And if you guys, any of the panelists, have any really important information that you think people would benefit from, please feel free to jump in as well.
I just saw a question that has come up for me a lot recently, is being pregnant during your CF year. So I just wanted to address it because it's been coming up quite a bit for me in my interviews. So I think being very upfront and honest, the last person that I talked with, we had a really good interview. For me, I really appreciated that she, during the interview, said, in full transparency, this is where I am due to have a baby in this month. I'm really motivated to, you know, return. Obviously, things change. You never know if you're going to return, especially if it's your first baby, all of those things. So we had a conversation about what that would look like, the impact on her CF year, the need. Obviously, we're in California, so she would be doing her required professional experience. So there would need to be an extension, things like that. So we were able to have that conversation. I've also had it where they haven't shared information, and that has been a struggle because then their first day they show up, especially with virtual interviews, and you see that maybe they're due in another 2 months. And so we didn't really come up with a plan to have that coverage or things like that. So for me, I think that it's not necessarily a barrier. I think that you are, again, you want to make sure that you're sharing the information with them, stressing that you continue to be interested and that these are the things that you're hoping to achieve before and after your leave, those types of things. And then your potential employer can make a decision with having all of that information.
Thank you so much. Is that something that anyone else has dealt with before? No, okay. Sal, what else do we have? Oh,
Can I address one quick question I saw in there? It was about being bilingual. And so I was going to say for my practice, which services English and Spanish speakers, I do not require a bilingual certification, but I do conduct some of my interview in Spanish. And we do talk about writing skills in Spanish because with me being in early intervention, I want to confirm that a person can not only work with the client or the child, but also communicate with the family, talk to the family about goals, coach the family on carryover activities, and also with report writing, because I do reports and I write down things for the family members as well. So that would be a part of the interview process.
thank you so much. Sal, what do we have up next?
As far as letters of recommendation go, who would be the best to ask for in terms of applying for externships or clinical fellowships? Would it be best to ask supervisors or professors?
Dr. Coppola, do you want to start that one?
Sure. Well, I have one of our recommendations for our letters of recommendation is that it be to clinical supervisors, and then another one of your choice. So I would definitely encourage you to look on the posting, or the job listing, to see if they have any preferences. And aside from that, just like we've been talking about all night, I would definitely tailor those to the position that you are applying to. So, it's okay to ask for letters of recommendation with one clinical supervisor that you have had, if they have a certain specialty or they're well-known within this area, and then also have ask another clinical supervisor if you're applying for a different position that may highlight some of your other experiences, that's more appropriate for that position. So just like your cover letter, I would tailor them to the places that you're applying to.
Thank you so much. Does anyone else have anything for that one?
I would say in addition to that, just make sure you're prepping your references. So if they're going to be speaking on your behalf, make sure that they know the position you're applying for. If you've had, let's say, a first round interview and there were certain things that you wanted to highlight, let them know what those things are so they can just echo those aspects about you, because you never want to send them in cold, because particularly for the position that you're, it's more your reach position where it's maybe something a little higher than your current skill set. If you haven't prepped them, they might talk about things that make you sound inexperienced. So if you already told them kind of, hey, could you focus on this? Or, if I did leadership, talk about this part or that part. Just give them the right framework so that they're just kind of emphasizing the whole story you're trying to present.
I was going to add, I like seeing references from clinical supervisors, but also if someone has a graduate assistantship and that professor writes a letter of recommendation for them, because that's someone that you're working closely with and they can talk to a different skill set as well for you. And so those always are, I think, beneficial as well.
Thank you so much. Sal, do we have any more? Or does anyone on the panel have anything to add in with as well, or any questions you've seen? I know a popular one that I saw is number of pages for your resume and or your cover letter. So what is the sweet spot with that? Because I know obviously there's a lot of things that you want to include, certain things you should include and tailor it to. So is there like a max that if you get one that has like 4 pages, it's an automatic no, or how do you kind of go about that? And anyone can jump in with that one.
Remember, Jen says she's taking 30 seconds to read this, so a 4-page resume isn't going to be read very well. In these professions, a 2-page resume is common, and it's really okay if you are using that space wisely. Like, really treat it like it's real estate, that each square inch has a value. So if you're reading a section and you're trying to figure out what is the point of this section, just get rid of it. Like if you're just listing things that you had stuff from high school or volunteer work that doesn't quite relate to the position, just get rid of it, because they want to see your experience. They want to see what you can do now. They want to see your transferable skills. So make sure you're focusing on that. When it comes to cover letters, again, that should be a conversation piece. So you don't want it to be 2 or 3 pages. You want it to be kind of that things that like almost amuse-bouche, like whet their appetite because they want to talk to you more based on what you said in that letter. So I kind of say 3 to 4 paragraphs, but even then, like one paragraph is like 2 or 3 sentences where it's like, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Like that's like that last paragraph is really just that invitation to talk more. So it's again being really smart with the real estate that you have, using it to kind of capture their attention, highlighting the best aspects of yourself. Don't send them everything because they're not going to read everything, as sad as that is. But you don't want to feel like you let yourself down because you didn't edit.
Thank you so much. Does anyone want to add on to that one? Okay, so we'll do one more question from the chat before we close it out.
Coming back to interviews, can you give 1 or 2 common go-to interview questions that a student might hear in an interview for an externship or a fellowship year?
Ms. Weber, do you want to start that one off?
Sure. I mean, the most probably common question is, tell me about your current experience that's related to the job. I mean, that's going to be first and foremost, and actually answering that question on topic is great, because sometimes you'll ask that question and I'll get answers that I need to go ahead and prompt them to bring them back to actually answer that, answer the question on topic. Another question would be, what are you looking for in a job? And knowing, we're school-based placements. So you're going to want to talk about school-based placements rather than, like, I really want to work with adults. But, that's not what we deal with. So just making sure that, again, your audience and you answer on topic.
Thank you so much. Does anyone else have anything to add to this one? Okay.
I saw a question. Oh, sorry. It was somebody else.
Sometimes we'll ask clinical-based questions to get a sense of an individual's ability to critically think. So it may not be you have to have right or wrong as far as what you would do in that clinical scenario, but just your thought process. So I would just be prepared and take your time when answering those questions, ask for clarification if it's needed, and just kind of allow that as an opportunity to showcase how you can kind of put your thoughts together on how you go across answering a problem.
Ms. Lopez, did you have anything to add to that?
That was going to be exactly what I said. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Does anyone else have anything before we move on? No? Okay, thank you all so much for joining us tonight. We really do hope that this helped you just feel a little more prepared and ready to enter this next step as a professional speech language pathologist or audiologist. At this time, we ask, I think we might have a slide on it, all of our panelists today that felt comfortable sharing their contact information did so, and we will share that slide. Please remember that our professionals are busy working people. So if they did give you their email and they're okay with you reaching out, please know that it might take them a few days. They're not ignoring you. They just have a lot of other things to do as well. Mine and Sal's information is also there as well. So please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. Sal is obviously the audiology side and I am more speech. This is something that Sal is getting ready, like looking at and kind of going through that. So we also would like to share a link in the chat to our blog, which will show you all of the posts that are related to this topic that you can go and click through and kind of just look at your own leisure. Finally, we're going to be posting a recap of this event in the next few weeks. So if you have friends that couldn't join, or if you had to sign on late or leave early, it is all going to be there for you to rewatch on our YouTube channel. On behalf of National NISLA, we would like to thank all of our professionals that joined us today. It is very helpful. You guys have no idea how much this does mean to our students. We'd also, oh yeah, here's this. Please take a screenshot of it, take a photo. If you do not see someone's contact information up here, please do not take it upon yourself to reach out to them. They might just have too many things on their plate right now, but these people were so kind to share their contact information. We also do have some upcoming events. a build your brand workshop with some great speakers about how you can really set yourself apart. So kind of a extension of this and just how you can really, again, set yourself apart from any other applicant that might be out there, whether it's for grad school or a CF or externship. We also have a Raw Conversations event coming up on ableism in our field as well. So we really hope that you guys can join us for some of those. And thank you for coming.